So it's April 13th. Tomorrow we're going to be jumping in the rig and heading further north. We're actually in Florida, Carabel Beach, Florida right now. We're going to be heading north on a slow trek to get to Dickeyville, Wisconsin, where we're going to have our seats reupholstered. But the story of this repair starts way back when, using the RV Life Pro websites and information areas to find out how you can get things repaired. On IRV2.com, which is one of the websites underneath the umbrella of the RV Life Pro company, and actually it's called Social Knowledge, which owns all of these things, and that's RV Trip Wizard and IRV2 and you know, these camping life newsletters and everything. When I was looking for tire safety on IRV2, I did plenty of searches on, at the time, which was the best and the baddest, which was the Tyron tire bands, and that's what I in fact got. And then it was a number of years later when things started popping up on how a much better system actually is the Retroband system. I ended up changing to the Retroband system because I'm a big believer of safety and the knowledge of the masses. Now, when I contacted Lisa Bauer Upholstery in Dickeyville, Wisconsin, which, by the way, in October of this year, that would be 2022, they're going to move their entire operation to actually a bigger and more suitable location for them that is closer to where most of the people actually live, and that's going to be in Dubuque, Iowa. It's a hop and a skip from each other. We're going to the Dickeyville operation, and you'll see that later in the video. But when you start corresponding with Lisa, the first thing that she's going to want to do, she's going to want to know the color of the fabric that you're dealing with and the type of fabric and the year of your rig and all of the particulars, but you can only tell her so much over the phone and with pictures. And what she really needs, and hopefully on your rig somebody didn't take it out, but underneath the springs here is a small little card about this big, and it has everything that Lisa Bauer Upholstery Company would need to know about this Flexsteel seat.
And there it is. All the information you need tucked tight away.
Lisa was in the office and administration of the Flexsteel company that actually made these seats. And somewhere along the way in the company, Newmar, whatever, selected this particular material on the Flexsteel seats, which also, this particular material was also used in some of the Tiffin company seats. And ultimately it was a bad decision. This material has been failing for many, many years. It literally caused, I think, so much damage to the Flexsteel RV operation for furniture that they have chosen that it's not worth being in the their fold of products to make, and they no longer make RV furniture. And Flexsteel no longer, I think, is participating in replacing any of this furniture. So you're kind of on your own. Well, what Lisa did, and it's a genius move, is she ended up buying all of the patterns and all of the rights and special tooling and things to be able to put these seats back together like new with some of the original employees that made these things in the first place. Remember, it wasn't the employees and it wasn't Lisa that picked out this material that they use that's failing. They put these together with the material that they were told to do it, and the seats are beautiful, and they're very comfortable, and they're very complex. So to be fortunate enough to be able to hook into a company that knows exactly how to build them, because they did build them, and they have all of the patterns and the drawings, and they understand all the machinery inside these, is invaluable. Before we look at how degraded these seats are, I guess I want to warn you not to fall into a particular trap. When I had to decide if I was going to have these seats done, and just for round numbers, for labor and material, for one of my Dutch Star seats, let's call it about $1,100 bucks. So we got $1,100 and $1,100. Okay, that is not chump change. That's a lot of money. And the first thing that's going to come out of your mouth is you're going to go, hey, I can get a brand new seat on XYZ company for, you know, $1,200 or something like that. And you might be right, okay? But I started looking into this, and it gets a little bit complicated. Let me show you a couple of things that complicates it. On our seat here, if I was to swivel this around, the controls on the other side, I believe, will actually kick out this panel, which is the same on this panel. It'll kick out a footrest. And if you'll notice how close this is like a 1/4 inch away. So if you don't replace this fancy seat with the footrest to an exact model that has the same clearances, you are immediately going to start having trouble. The other thing that you can easily miss if you don't know what you're looking at is this seat here has a seat belt on this side. And the seat belt isn't attached to the seat. The seat belt is attached to the base. But yet on this side, the seat belt is attached to the wall and it's attached to the floor. And it straps you in and it attaches to the base. So the seat itself and the bolted joint between the seat and the base is kind of secondary to holding your carcass in here in an accident. The real engineering is done between the seat belt, the wall, the floor, this connection down here, and the base. So when I was talking before about the seat belts, you can see how wimpy these little bolts are here. And so these are the bolts that are holding your seat on. And that's why when you buy a seat, if the seat belts were attached to the seat, and then the seat is only attached to the pedestal with these wimpy bolts, there should be no surprise when you fly through the windshield if you have an accident. So you want to buy a seat that has the seat belt attached to the frame on one side and leave it attached to the wall like it is on the other side. This seat here, I'll show you this once we get these seats out, is, let's say, this tall off the floor. If you were to replace these seats with something that wasn't OEM and you unintentionally added maybe another inch or so here, which you might not think is that important, but I'm here to tell you, if all of a sudden you're driving this thing and this seat is pushing up into the back of your legs another extra inch and your feet are falling asleep all the time, when you're as short as I am, I mean, I'm 1 inch taller than Quick Draw McGraw. And so I've got the problem where I've got this thing all the way down, I've got it tilted all the way forward, I've got my electric pedals, gas pedals, driven all the way towards me, and I have this steering wheel all the way down. It just fits me perfect. Now when we ordered these seats to be recovered, I also ordered the seat to be replaced, meaning the cushion. So you order the material how you want, you order a extra seating cushion being provided if you want to redo this cushioning here, and then you pay for the labor to have it done. When you look at how bad this is, where this material has basically disintegrated and just kind of flaked off in almost a little powdery dandruff type of stuff, to go from this to this was maybe 9 months to a year. We thought we had dodged a bullet with all of the different people having a problem, but we in fact did not. When we had to tell Lisa what color we wanted to have our seats done, couple 2-3 years prior, we had actually put these recliners in, and we bought these recliners from Brad and Hall, and that's who you might be tempted to buy brand new seats from Brad and Hall, because they also sell drivers and passenger seats, and you know that might be a good idea for you if you have regular driver seats. but ours have heaters in them. They've got electric recliners and electric hibachi, I think, and they've got so many peculiarities. And I talked about the fact that I'm so short, I didn't want to change the geometry that much. I'm more comfortable redoing these. But you can see that this color is slightly lighter than that color. Now, this material on the recliners actually is a pretty good material according to Lisa, and she said I can exactly match this color for your front seats, and that's in fact what we're doing. And when I sent her those tags, she knew exactly how the pattern should be made, so it really doesn't matter what material that we use. When you're physically parked in the driveway of an upholstery shop that knows exactly what needs to be done, it's kind of hard not to say to yourself, Mark, maybe we should do everything all at once so we don't have to do this again. So because Sue sits on a cushion here, we did not know that this seat was this bad. And I don't know if you can see here, but this one is on its way. And remember we said that once it starts going,
Oh, it goes fast.
it's a slippery slope. So we are having these done. So we're about $2,600 here. Now there's a left-hand door and there's a right-hand door. Over on this side is a tag that tells you exactly what this is. It tells them the style of it, the color, tells them everything they need to know to rebuild this thing.
So one other thing that Mark didn't mention is we're going to have the cushions in this fixed too, because when we first bought this, they used this a lot and it sat way too low for me to work on my computers. I was getting like a neck strain and stuff, way too low. So we compromised for now by using these giant Fifis.
What? You use Fifis too?
Yeah. And you can see, this I had in my back.
Yeah.
But you can see what a difference that makes.
And you'll notice that your arms are still not at 90 degrees, so you're reaching
I could be a
up.
little bit higher.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Yeah, we'll see where this takes us
Yeah.
once they redo the springs and the cushion in there.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a Tiffin parked on this side road too.
Arriving at 505 West Main Street on the left.
We know what you're thinking.
I'm thinking I'm just going to bump over that curb and drive right up in there. I'm going to just pull in straight at you.
Yeah, it seems like that'd be the most logical. Don't go over the curb. There you go, turn. That's good.
Dr.
Yeah, if you
Mason.
could get them cutting the wire, we could put the explosion.
Explosion and smoke going.
Yeah.
There it is.
So I can still remember how it was when I contacted Bauer Upholstery, and I said, "Hey, how long is this going to take to, do my front seats?" And when they told me a day, I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" So I immediately, in my mind, budgeted 2 days, and then when I added doing the Euro booth, I felt like I should add even a couple more days. But I'm here to tell you that they worked very efficiently. They're a finely oiled machine, this crew of 7 that phased in and phased out on the project as they needed to. That crew of 7 predominantly was working on my rig. So if you have a lot to get done, trust them that they will drop everything that they're doing and they will have your best interests in mind and will be working on your project and not someone else's. When Sue and I were filming all this, we didn't even have time to eat lunch. Here you see they have some fancy CNC table that not only cuts the leather, but it cuts the fabric backing support felt pieces. They've got tons of these pneumatic nail guns to put the staples in. This is the new seat backing that I highly recommend anybody do when they're rebuilding the seat. It just gives it a brand new feel. So this is kind of where all the magic starts, and where all the knowledge that this company has by having all of the patterns and dimensions and assembly instructions and techniques, and in fact the employees that used to work at Flexsteel. This is really the only way to go, because if the cover isn't made right and if the cover isn't the right dimensions, it really doesn't matter how good everybody else is in the company. This is Lisa's son, Mason. So if you end up calling Bauer RV Upholstery, you may or may not get him on the phone, or Lisa. Mason was the one that did all of the disassembly and assembly work for our captain's chairs. It's always nice to see one of the bosses and future owners of the company working so hard and learning everything they need to know. So this crew of 2 guys was dedicated to assembling our Euro booths, and one of them actually was the man at Flexsteel back in the day, and that was his specialty. Now, I believe that if you wanted to order all of these covers from Bauer RV Upholstery and you sent them the appropriate tags, they would sell them to you, and then you'd have to assemble it on your own. And I guess if your hobby has been upholstery your whole life, then maybe have at it. But, you know, if you're your average schlub like I am, I would highly recommend to make plans in the future, drive your RV, it's got wheels on it anyways, go to Dubuque, Iowa, and have these folks do it. It's way more complex and labor intensive than you could ever imagine. And like I said, unless you really know what you're doing, you wouldn't catch me recommending to anybody to do it themselves.
So we're here at Lisa Bauer's new location, and you'll easily find it because we've got this big MI building right here. And just turn in. They're actually in the 3rd unit way back there somewhere. So we'll go check it out.
So until this operation is up and running in about October of 2022, we're going to go back to Dickeyville where the lights are on, and while the lights are off in this place, we are going to go check out the parking lot to see where the RVs can park while you're here in Dubuque. So if you remember in the beginning of this video of where we're parked now when we're in Dickeyville, you can see that this is a vast improvement on your parkability when you come to get your reupholstery done. And there's the 250 amp spots.